You know, in my day, when you were in the world of show business, you didn't rest anything, particularly if it was successful. When I worked in the record industry, you know, chums, there was this sort of formula that the company had. And basically it was 3 to 4 singles a year and an album around about October time with a heavy push up towards Christmas. And the singles will be placed, you know, in winter, spring, summer and autumn. And because that star, that, you know, artist was incredibly popular, you made a lot of money and you did it while the iron, as they say, was hot. There was no two ways about it. And this, of course, was, well, how they cemented star power. What you have now in the case of somebody like Meghan Markle is really realizing that, in fact, Spotify were correct all along. They called them grifters, and they basically said she was not an audio talent. Now, another company have found out the same thing. Let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for your time today. You all right? I'm not so bad, thank you. You know, I don't mind sharing these things with you. You know when you just get a craving for dolly mixtures? Do you know what I mean? But do you know dolly mixtures? Yeah, I don't know, do they call them something different where you are? I was in a shop and you know when you see them and you think, no, be good, don't eat them, Neil. And then halfway around you're walking back and you think, I could just eat those. It's terrible, isn't it, when you see these? That's the thing about pester power, isn't it? I think if you've got children, you know, they nag you. Can I have this? Can I have that? And you think, no. And then you want it, don't you? There's and actually, I'm not a fan of dolly mixtures. I think it's the jelly stuff. It's funny how your mind wanders, isn't it? You know, oh, yes, I know. This is the thing. Maybe it's the heat here in London. Who knows? It's a beautiful, beautiful time right now, as I say, for a lot of heat. Now, let's get back to your royal story of the day. Shock horror, Meghan Markle has decided that she's stepping back and resting her podcast. Well, you know, let's be blunt, it's rested her, right, chums? You see, she signed up with Lemonada. Now, here's what you don't know, and as ever I have to say allegedly, the deal was very flimsy in its best, right? They took on Archetypes, the original thing from Spotify. They hoped that they could get some interest in putting her particular podcast out there. Now, she made the series of podcasts, and as we know, the last one was with Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, and that barely got a ripple. You know, people just pick up on the highlighted, if you can call it that, bits. Now, what's the reason for the resting? Well, there's two things really. Meghan says she wants to focus on her brand of As Ever with Love Meghan. Well, 3 weeks ago, she was resting that and not bringing out new product until next year. The woman is a colossal business nightmare. You know, this is why people are leaving left, right and centre. Staff cannot abide it. You know, she's changing her mind left, right and centre. You know, you've had a lot of people over there looking out for guests for the next series of the podcast. She's woken up one day, looked at the tresses in the mirror and thought, oh, I can't be bothered doing that, let's just do something else. So now she's dumped that. The deal with Lemonada is very, very flaky indeed, because the bottom line was there was no deal, right? She wanted that dressed up as this company's a female company. I love them. That's the reason why I'm going with them. It's going to be empowering. And if you remember, it's going to be fun. Girl talk, right? Well, it wasn't fun. There was no girl talk, and actually it was utter dross. What we really got was Meghan talking about her medical conditions and clapping back on all the critiques. Now, some people might say this is a constant bullying thing. The woman is a nightmare to work with, and this is from people that I know who worked with her. They could not abide her. So the bottom line is this has come as a blessing that this podcast is now being rested. Now, why is it being rested? Well, it's not made any money. You see, the bottom line is she was on a sort of deal where you get a percentage. So imagine it's 100%. Possibly on this deal, 70% would have gone to Meghan, 30% to Lemonada, the company. If nobody's listening and nobody's downloading, what's 70% of nothing? You see what I'm saying? And so for her, she's obviously had to get out of this. The costs are pretty minimal to make the thing, but it's the circus surrounding Meghan that costs a lot of money. You know, the lighting, the filming, her picking this, the editing, the subjects, the ideas of what she wants. You know, many people make very successful podcasts which make a return on next to nothing. There's some excellent people here on this platform that do incredibly well. I do not understand why she's not been able to turn it around. The bottom line is she's had everything chucked at her with expertise from Lemonada, but clearly it's all too much for Meghan. The bottom line is it's too much like hard work. She simply couldn't get the guests. And the bigger thing, as we know, Meghan loves money, and she's realised that being a podcaster is simply not going to make her a billionaire. So Spotify had it right all along, a grifter with no audio talent. What do you think? I'd love to know your comments, of course. Please keep them respectful in the comment box below. And if you can, like and share. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.